Anymore than last night.
That's been right.
Somebody just.
Much to me that happens. Why can't you?
That's
Why I'm asking Carol.
No, yeah.
Okay, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order for the Angola Common Council Monday, September 18th, 2023. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Crum. Here. Councilmember Olson. Here. Councilmember Armstrong. Councilmember Martin. Here. Councilmember McDermott.
Here. Request approval of the September 5th and 11th minutes.
So,
Moved and seconded, discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Minutes of the August 7th Board of Public Works and Safety meeting presented for council information for attachment. Under unfinished business, at this time, we'll have the public hearing before final action determining whether the qualifications for an economic development area have been met for property located along Terrace Boulevard. At this time, I will open the public hearing. If anybody has any remarks they would like to make, we ask that you please give your name and address for the record. The public meeting is open. Hearing no comments, we'll close the public hearing portion of the meeting. Ordinance 1739-2023, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Angola, Steuben County, Indiana, designating an area as an economic development target area for purposes of making said area eligible for deduction from assessed valuation for the redevelopment or rehabilitations of real estate, terrace place apartments, second reading. Moving second, the discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Ordinance number 1739-2023, third reading.
Second.
Moving second, discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Resolution number 2023-854, a confirmatory resolution of the Common Council of the City of Angola, Steuben County, Indiana, declaring the City of Angola, Steuben County, Indiana, get this good. Confirmatory resolution of the Common Council of the City of Angola, Steuben County, Indiana, declaring an area as an economic revitalization area for purposes of making said area eligible for deduction from assessed valuation for the redevelopment or rehabilitation of real estate terrace place apartments.
We confirm the resolution.
Moving second, discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Under new business, ordinance number 1740-2023, an ordinance amending the zoning map of the City of Angola, Indiana, Speedway Professional Park, Lot 1, tabled from July 17th meeting, first reading for attachment.
For the purpose of discussion, I'll move to approve.
Can I amend that?
Sure. By all means.
For the purpose of discussion, having reviewed the recommendation of the Plan Commission and taking into account the comprehensive plan, current conditions and character of structures and uses in each district, the most desirable use of land in its current proposed zone, conservation of property values throughout the city, and responsible growth and development, I move to, I'm going to do this in the positive, adopt the proposed zoning change.
Moved and seconded, discussion.
I have a couple questions. Folks, Jennifer, I'm going to start with you. Being on the planning commission, I realized we were voting simply to move it along at that time based on the facts. That's what we did. I got home and I was kind of scratching my head a little bit because the photos that we had were the same photos we had in June. And I thought, shouldn't we have had current photos as in September?
Yeah. I mean, I've been on the site the end of last week, yeah.
Okay,
Would you please bring the council up to date with what's transpired at the property that we're talking about?
Mhm.
They've been grinding concrete, which doesn't necessarily agree with our, you kind of
Yeah.
just,
So if you guys will remember, I believe, forgive me on the months, but July,
was
you
this-
had both lot 1 and lot 2 rezoning in front of you. Lot 2 was denied. Lot 1 was tabled until the plan commission reviewed the plats and approved that. At the meeting, so it had been last Monday, the plan commission did approve a primary plat for lot 1 being C2 commercial. That's the way it's set up with setbacks. And then what is lot 2 is saying agriculture, and that's the way the setbacks are set up on that. So it doesn't approve the zoning, rather it's a primary plat contingent on that the C1 zoning is approved, or C2 zoning is approved for lot 1. In that time between when the council met and when plan commission met, I don't remember the exact date, it's detailed in that letter. We got phone calls, I think many of you did too, about concrete crushing happening on the property. So meeting with the mayor and city attorney, we issued them a violation, giving them time to get things cleaned up. And with Mr. Frederick, his goal is to have all of that removed. We gave him the deadline of September 25th to stop the concrete crushing, which he has.
Is that for removal too, September 25th?
No, just the crushing.
Just the crushing. Is there a deadline for getting that removed?
We have not given them a deadline for having the piles removed.
And initially I thought, we changed the zoning that they were supposed to have 1,000 foot they're setback from the road.
I'm not sure what you mean by that, I apologize. Can you repeat that?
Well, that there couldn't be concrete dumped there anymore. It had to be 1,000 feet.
I think you might be talking, when we were talking about the high impact, that zone.
Probably
being-
so,
Yeah, 1,000 feet from,
But since that got turned down, it doesn't affect this,
correct.
and there's
I
no
understand.
deadline on when they has to remove it.
We have not given them a deadline for when the piles have to
But
be
we can?
removed.
Is it legal to have the piles there though right now? Piles of concrete there right now?
I would defer to Jennifer. You have a response to that, Jennifer?
It's a tough situation. Use has been allowed to go on there for quite a long time. The crushing of concrete, it has happened there in the past. You see the spreading of crushed asphalt, crushed concrete on the property itself. By today's standards, no, it would not be allowed.
if we change the zoning, which and he's been allowed to do it because he's been doing it and
Mhm.
it's been an existing operation, so you can't change it. If he's now requesting a change in zoning, will he now have to comply with all the zoning restrictions as of the date that we change it?
So as of now, I mean, we've talked to Mr. Frederick about that does need to be cleaned up. So we have not said, you can keep the piles there indefinitely. We just haven't given him a definitive date because he is trying to figure out where they're going. So he would need to bring the property into compliance. Which that would be.
If we change it, now he has to comply with what we're changing it to since he's requested to change it. Is that true or false?
Yeah, Kim, would you agree with that?
Is it lawful in the zone that it's zoned now?
It's currently zoned agriculture. The question all becomes, is it illegal non-conforming use?
Right.
It's tied around that.
My opinion at this point is that he would have to remove it.
Wasn't he given a variance to put that there? as a-
I don't believe he was.
Not to
No.
my knowledge.
Really?
What is the date that we have to make a decision, because there's a clock running,
Mhm.
that we either accept it or it gets accepted, or we deny it and it stops? What is that date?
Unless you have a special meeting, it's today.
You're kidding.
We're up against the deadline.
Well, the final two readings would be at the next meeting, correct?
Mhm.
This is just.
But we're past the point tonight of where it becomes,
Yeah, unless you guys have a special meeting to meet within your normal meeting schedules. I believe is it 60 days?
90.
90 days, sorry.
From the certification by the plan commission of their recommendation,
when was it certified?
Last week.
July 17th,
Yeah,
It's the first time that they approved
it's
it.
in July. Mhm.
July 17th, I believe. That starts the 90 days for it.
Mhm.
July, we got August, September, October, so it's October 17th is the drop dead date. Well, my recommendation is, we've already made the motion, and it is in the affirmative. It's a 3 reading. We can stop it at any time. Let's continue on. Jennifer, do you think you could get some kind of commitment that you will clean up the property by a given date?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have the ability to put timelines on him if that's what's desired. When talking with the mayor, that wasn't originally desired. With the concrete crushing itself, that was the main nuisance we were trying to get to stop. I think we'd have to have a conversation about what's reasonable.
Well, if you change it to, he's not allowed to store material in a commercial zone.
Correct.
Okay, so if you're gonna hold his feet to the fire for complying with all current zoning that we are changing it to, common sense would tell me he must have it cleaned up. So,
I don't, in my opinion, it will get cleaned up. It's just a matter of the timing of that with construction season.
if we just wanna make sure that
Mhm.
at whatever date we agree on, that it will be cleaned up and we will not continue the non-conforming use. Mr. Olson? Mr. Crom?
You gotta give them a reasonable time to move it.
Yeah. Mr.
I agree
McDermott?
with a reasonable time. I also think it wouldn't hurt us to go out and take a look at that property itself.
It is crap property.
With permission, of course.
You can see the piles from the right.
Yes.
Yeah, I've just visited the right of way. I've never gone on the property. Well, that's my recommendation. We have a motion on a second, but like I said, it's a 3 reading proposition, so.
Doesn't, and we
Jennifer, is there anyone here
we have an
tonight
extension time we can use.
from Speedway?
I believe final action would have to be at next meeting unless there's a special.
Really?
Oh, there he is.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Would you like to address the council?
I feel like I've had detailed, we did not feel that we were doing anything out of line that we haven't done over the last 30 years. So as soon as we got the telephone call, I said, what's the wishes? What's the direction? She said, I got an issue. We talked through this whole thing and we got in and got out of there as fast as we could with that expense to clean up the site, to move that stuff out of there. So that was the whole premise of it. We're dealing with all the contracting entities up in this area and even going to wholesale it so we can get that material out of there. Going into this time of year, there's a lot of material there. That's a lot of good material, but it's also going to be a big benefit to all the commercial and home building and everything else that's going on up here. So yes, we plan on cleaning that whole commercial area.
You feel you can give us a date certain? It doesn't necessarily need to be mid-October. You just give us a date that you're confident.
I think after talking with the salespeople and getting a firm line from the contractors up in this area that we could come up with a fair date. I think that's reasonable.
Okay, I'm good with that. I think you understand what the council wishes, but we want to be reasonable with it.
It's been a contentious issue for some time, and resolution, it's nice to see that we can get to a resolution perhaps that will benefit all.
Anybody else have remarks they want to make for or against? Yes, ma'am. Please give your name and address for the record. You can-
I come up, thank you. My name is Tina Stankwitz, 3587 North 20 East. I'll be concise. I have some notes. We're paying a babysitter right now, so I'll make sure I'm quick. I want to thank you so much for listening to our concerns at the last city council meeting on July 17th. There's a lot of community participation, and I appreciate you for accommodating and giving us all an opportunity to speak. When the crushing started on Saturday, August 19th at the Primco parcel, I was upset that an obvious violation was occurring. I sent an email out that morning and want to thank you for your diligence and prompt action. Mr. Martin communicated that he went to the site that day to investigate. Mr. McDermott responded and shared my concerns that morning. Ms. Barclay responded to me that morning, worked on investigating the matter, and worked with me via email. Mr. Olson made it a point to respond once he received my email. And for the city of Angola as a whole to take swift action and issue a violation notice on August 23rd. Violation letter. This is what Jennifer sent out. Mr. Frederick, thank you for taking a moment to speak with me regarding concrete being crushed on the property. As discussed, concrete crushing is a violation of the permitted uses in the agriculture district. We recognize and appreciate your desire to clean up the property. We have agreed to the arrangement to allow the concrete pile to be cleaned up. However, a deadline for the concrete crushing to cease is Monday, September 25th, 2023. After the letter was sent out, I emailed Jennifer a few questions for clarification. The email was then fielded to Mr. Shoup, who told me to address the concerns here. With that, could I get some clarification on those original questions? Is that okay?
Okay.
Can I ask the questions that I originally asked? Okay, thank you. Does Mr. Frederick no longer have plans to utilize the parcel as a stockpile in the future? If his plans are to build the debris piles back up after these have been removed, we, as I'm speaking for the citizens that were at the last meeting, don't find it's in the community's best interest to allow him to the ability to utilize high impact equipment. So I'm not sure if that was discussed in the conversation you had with him, Jennifer, if he's going to continue using it as a stockpile.
I'm gonna keep referring to Mr. Shoup.
Mr. Shoup.
My name is Shout.
Shout, I'm so sorry.
And I don't know what his intentions are, but you've heard what the city's intentions are as expressed just a few moments ago.
Okay. The second question is going to be no, because I asked what the set hours of the equipment would be. And then I also asked if Mr. Frederick is intending to clean up and dispose of the materials in the parcel, would he also be removing the asphalt? The city granted a very generous window to Todd to clean up the pile. And as you stated, I don't believe everybody's been out to the site. So I brought some pictures. These are from today at 1 p.m., what it currently looks like. Some of them are in different perspective in Judy's backyard, you can see, and then others are, you can see towards the front. If you look at it, it's not cleaned up. Basically, one giant pile has been moved around and it's just turned into a multitude of different crushed piles. Because we, the citizens, are wanting the same thing for the city, the site to be cleaned up and to enhance the appearance of the corridor, we want to work with you. I've been appointed as the liaison to help, so Jennifer and the council is not inundated with emails and calls. I've made it a point not to involve media. And I understand that the last couple months have been very stressful for everyone, but I am confident that we can work together. And because of that, we didn't have to take the necessary actions of having everybody present that was at the last meeting. With that being said, we're not against Todd rezoning to C2. Our issue is that the violation letter states Todd has a desire to clean up the property. It also states the city agreed to the arrangement to allow the concrete pile to be cleaned up. It's not. Our suggestion, which you guys will know better than me, and you've been having the conversation, is that we table the rezoning until the parcel is truly cleared up. The crush and the slab cement is removed and the asphalt is removed. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? What are the plans on the asphalt? Yeah.
Sorry, what?
What are your plans for the asphalt?
The asphalt pile?
Yeah.
It's wrap, which is wrap, and it's been recycled and ground there to be sold. It'll be base material for this marketplace. The contract will be the same as the 53s and the 2s that are in the piles now, to be utilized everywhere.
In simple terms, the material will be removed.
The piles will be removed. They had to be made into a product that could be used for foundations for a future building.
So is they have pretty much broken up as much as you know, break it up now, it's just a case of.
Yeah, it was made into spec material to be able to be used on sites. It now meets what comes out of the quarries informally.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
My name is Tim Stankwitz. I live at 3587 North 20 East. I just had a question on, I know Mr. Frederick just stated he potentially might sell the property. If it is sold and it's cleaned up, will it still have the grandfather rights to have construction staging and ag going forward? Or whoever the new buyer is, or if he keeps it, will it no longer be allowed for that?
Yes, sir.
Would you restate that question, sir?
So we've been told previously that it was,
Just tell me the question.
okay, if the property is sold.
Which property, the back part or the front part that we're talking about rezoning?
Either.
Okay.
So the back part, mainly the back part, agriculture. If it is sold and there's still some construction debris left, will it still be considered grandfathered into whoever the next person is so they can do construction staging there? Or will it be the new rules of ag and not allowed?
Jennifer, in an agricultural zone, is that activity permitted?
Construction staging?
Then no.
Okay.
A sale will terminate the grandfather.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
They're not talking about that.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the front. That's what I thought.
My name is Judy Griffin. I live at 3370 North State Road 127, right next door to the area you're talking about. I've lived there 50 years. He keeps stating for the last 30 years it's been used for what he's using it for. I've lived there 50 years. It started out bringing the big, for the lakes when they were redoing the sewage. That's when they started using it to store the sewage stuff, not piles of concrete. The concrete didn't come in there until it was bought by Fredericks. And so, I mean, I was told there was a variance to store the stuff for the sewage there. And after that, I would have presumed the variance would have stopped. But like I said, as long as I've lived there, the concrete didn't start until the Fredericks bought it. I hadn't met him before I met his father. But that all started just fairly recently, not 30 years. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, we thank you for your participation and your voicing your concerns tonight. Okay. Got a motion, second? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. So we will be working with them for a time limit
And get it memorialized, yes.
Very good. Okay, there will be second, third reading next meeting. You folks want to come back?
Both in the next meeting.
I think we have to.
No, October 2nd and then October 16th.
Oh.
October 16th after the 90 days, if you count the calendar. So they would both have to be the next meeting.
Okay. Public hearing regarding the James Donald Weiss Senior Revocable Trust Annexation. This time, we will begin the public meeting, same as I said before. If anybody has anything they would like to say for or against, we ask them, please give their name and address for the record, please. So this time, the public meeting is open. And hearing no comments, we'll close the public hearing portion of the meeting. Resolution 2023-855, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Angola, Indiana, adopting a written fiscal plan and definite policy for the annexation of certain territory contiguous to the City of Angola, Indiana, James Donald Weiss Senior Revocable Trust.
So moved.
Move the second discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Ordinance number 1741-2023. An ordinance extending and increasing the corporate limits of the City of Angola, Indiana pursuant to the provisions of the Indiana Code subsection 36-4-3-5.1 by annexing thereto to certain territory contiguous to the City of Angola, James Donald Weiss Senior Revocable Trust. First reading.
Move to pass the ordinance.
Second.
Move the second, the discussion.
I misspoke. I have a question after the vote.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
We have expanded the city of Angola west of 69. The signs say Angola is still east of 69. Who do we talk to in NDOT to move those signs so that they represent the true distance?
I can contact someone.
Okay. And we have to have one on the south side of that. South side of, was it Fox Lake Road right there? And then on 20.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Anything else? Okay, public hearing regarding proposed application of the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs for a grant from the State Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, wastewater and drinking water program. Sorry. Oh, okay,
That's me.
that's you.
Yes.
You don't look like you're a wastewater.
You're doing a great job. Keep going. All right, you ready? Okay, I am Sandra Jamez. I am a grant administrator with Region 3A. We are assisting the City of Angola with a community development block grant. This grant is for a wastewater project. On or about December 22nd of 2023, the City of Angola will be applying to the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs for federal funding through housing and urban development. The city is applying for a grant in the amount of $700,000. Of this, approximately 52.05% will benefit low and moderate income persons. The town anticipates providing an estimated $1,535,987 in local funds in addition to the CDBG funds. This is the first public hearing which must be conducted before proposal can be submitted.
The deadline for those proposals is October 20th of 2023. The second public hearing will take place ahead of application deadline, which is December 22nd, 2023. This is a competitive grant and we will be competing with other applications from across the state. We will learn if our grant is funded mid-February. First off, Ryan, have you received any letters or anything? Okay. Let's see, I would like to give an overview of the project. This project will see the removal of a lift station that has been in service for longer than its useful life. The city will upgrade the pipes in the collection system to add capacity, and then will rely upon gravity flow to move wastewater within the system. The project goal is to replace existing components. There are a few reasons for this. First, the larger pipes to be installed will add capacity to the collection system. Second, removing the lift station and relying upon gravity flow will save the city money by not having the costs associated with lift station, such as electrical and maintenance costs. This project will also accommodate for future growth and development in the area. The project will occur along rights of way and property owned by the city of Angola, and no land acquisition will be needed for this project. It is anticipated that no displacement of persons will occur. However, the city will provide a displacement plan, which is a requirement of the grant. Now I'd like to go over the scoring criteria for this grant. There are a total of 700 points available. Applications must achieve a minimum score of 450 points to be eligible for the award. Points are achieved in 5 ways: national objective, community distress factors, local match contribution, project design factors, and program-specific points. The national objective category is worth 100 points. You will get 1 point per percentage of residents that are low and moderate income. And we're still working to determine the number of points we'll receive in this category. The community distress factors category is worth 175 points. Various factors are used to determine the distress of a community. Okra has partnered with Stats Indiana, an Indiana University entity, to analyze and calculate the distress of Indiana's small cities, towns, counties, and townships. Factors used to calculate the community distress points used for the CDBG scoring include poverty rate, median household income, unemployment rate, non-seasonal housing vacancy rate, housing cost burden, and population change, a 10-year percentage change within the population. The community distress score for the city of Angola is 77.22, which is in line with the surrounding communities. The local match category is worth 75 points. This is based on the percentage of local funds devoted to the project, not grant request. We would get 1 point per percentage of local match with a cap of 75 points. Our project will be funded at 54% local match, so we will get 54 points in this category. The project design factor is worth 300 points and is split into 3 areas. These include project description. Is the project clearly defined to determine eligibility? This area is worth 50 points. Next is project need, and this is the community need for this project documented and compelling. This area is worth 125 points. One way to demonstrate need is by letters of support. If you would like to write a letter of support in this project, we ask that you get it to us mid-December so it can be included in the application. We ask that the letter of support focus on why the project is needed for the city and why you believe it is a priority. The last area is financial impact. Why is grant assistance necessary to complete this project? And this area is worth 125 points. The program specific points are worth 50 points. Financial gap points were adjusted to a maximum of 10 points per each dollar in financial gap. The user rate benchmark updates. This was a recommendation made by the Joint Wastewater Task Force that Okra alters its current benchmarks to better align with other common funding sources. Green infrastructure will be added and set at a maximum of 15 points for the inclusion of green infrastructure elements of this project. The first area is financial gap, and the maximum of 10 points is available. There will be 1 point per dollar in the financial gap. The result of the Okra gap calculation worksheet is the amount your community would have to increase the monthly utility rate charge to each customer without grant assistance. The number displayed is gap, which is the amount which grant funds will reduce buy down your utility rates. This amount added to the actual rates anticipated with Okra grant funds will give you the rates needed without Okra grants funds. The next area of program specific points is project sustainability. There's a maximum of 25 points available, and the points are awarded for the establishment of or documentation of the existing wastewater or drinking water utility rate or the ongoing operation maintenance activities of the wastewater or drinking water system. There are 0 points if rates are less than $40 a month for combined user rates. If combined utility user rates are between $40 and $70 a month, then you would get 10 points. If the combined utility rates are more than $70 per month, then you would get 25 points. So we anticipate getting the full 25 points in this area. I will now be opening up for public comment if anybody has anything they would like to add.
Any questions from council or audience?
I missed the second paragraph.
It's a lot.
I can tell you it's a project that wastewater and engineering had said we wanted to get done for a while, and we're now at a point where we need to get it done.
Does the evaluation of Angola take into consideration the transients of the train students?
That's a new part of the calculation. When you started down that road, I thought you were gonna ask about lake housing.
Yeah.
I can assure you that's factored.
That is factored in finally.
I'm trying to make the train students look like.
Yeah, but student housing, don't have a good answer for it. I want to say it is, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Would it benefit the city?
I'm not too sure, to be
Yeah,
honest.
I don't know.
How do we find out?
Yeah.
We'll look into it.
Yeah. We'll find out.
Well, thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
You said it's a competitive grant,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
Competition.
Yeah. Competitive.
He's been known to throw an elbow.
It's okay, we like those.
Any other comments?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yes, we can close it up.
Appreciate you delivering that to us.
Yes, thank you.
Any other comments? If not, the public meeting is closed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Press approval of the 2024 fire protection agreement for Jamestown Township with the town of Fremont, the amount of $76,076. 4% increase.
Second.
Move the second, the discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Treasurer's depository statement and cash reconciliation for the month ending August 2023 is presented for council information. Report for treasurer.
Nothing for you.
Nothing, Mr. Mayor.
Jennifer.
Just that we have the cruise to the monument. I'll let you talk
Yeah. Be there this week.
about it. I'm on Wednesday.
Yeah. Supposed to be a good day for cruise the monument, so.
Wear your letter jacket?
Me?
Yeah.
No. You and I, neither one could fit into it. Chief?
No report.
Okay. Good. No report.
No report, Mayor. No
report. Okay. Oh, there's somebody. Who? Engineering? Okay, request approval of the amounts of accounts payable vouchers 64,794 to 65,036, totaling $839,040.69, which includes interfund transfers of $124,246.23.
Move that we pay the bills.
Sorry.
Move second, discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. We have some folks here from Shrine, I believe. Tell us, you guys just bored and didn't have something else to do? Hey, let's go to council. Or They make you come.
What's the class?
So we're all in a senior design group. So we're all seniors at Trine University. Emma's sitting over there too. She's with us as well. But we were tasked with coming to any open council meeting that talks about anything that has to do with civil engineering, which clearly we got some of that today. So we'll have to go back and write a report about everything that we took away from it and how it's going to affect our careers.
Is this the class that does the senior project?
Yes.
Does the, I don't know if you know this or not, does the department keep the senior projects?
So right now, yes, they keep them. I'm not sure how far back they keep them. But each senior design group has a sponsor that I'm pretty sure they take those and they keep them as records as well.
And when do you start the project? Do you start now and finish?
So it's on a rotation. So right now, so it's a full year class. The first semester of the class is design work, and that's when we scope out our projects, do more of the due diligence work. And then the second part is the actual design and calculation work. So right now we are all in the design, or we are in the due diligence part, but there is also another section of the class that is in their design and calculation. So it's a constant rotation.
Who's the professor in charge?
It's also a rotation. Ours is TJ Murphy.
Who's the secretary of the department then?
So the secretary is Sherry Thompson.
Didn't know you were gonna have tests tonight, did you?
The last test is easy. And city. Would you quickly introduce yourself and what city you call home?
Yeah, I'm Preston Ankney. I'm from Bryan, Ohio.
I'm Alexander Ponks, and I'm from Oswego, Illinois.
I'm Alexa Kessler. I'm from Metamora, Ohio.
I'm Michael Chandler and I'm from Peru, Indiana.
I'm Ted Hoffmeister. I'm from Columbus, Ohio.
I'm Emma Cook. I'm from Middlebury, Indiana.
Thank you for selecting Trine.
We're glad to have you. Pleased to have you guys here, and we appreciate Trine University, but we appreciate you too. You add a vitality and a diversity to our community that many communities don't have.
The meeting is on YouTube if you missed it.
The reason I'm asking.
You didn't need to take notes.
The reason I'm asking is because one of the senior projects years ago came in and created like a peer system that would allow for the development of a sidewalks on the east side of North Wayne Street. And so I'm wondering if that project's still there so we could get access to it, because that was brilliant. And that would help solve Gary's problems with sidewalks that we have up there. Thank you. That's why I asked.
I remember that, yeah.
Yes, that was great.
Thank you. Any other business? If not, this meeting is adjourned. Next meeting is Monday, October the 2nd.
Thank you.